Hello again, everybody. I'm Lori, your Milkweeds and Roses gardener. Welcome back and welcome to 2026. We've got an exciting day, actually more like a cold day, of some tasks that we have to get done. And especially because the weather provides. There's a little bit of a window right now. We don't have storms on the way or necessarily rain on the way. In fact, we have some warmer temperatures on the way, which is great for January in my Zone 5B garden. It's unusual, so I'm going to take advantage while I can. There is some winter rose cleanup things that I need to do that weather prevented earlier, but stick around in Iowa long enough and you'll see all different kinds of weather changes. So let's get some things done for some of my winter roses. I think the last time we got together, I showed you some of the foliage that is still, or was still, attached to my roses. And knowing that I have a significant sawfly issue with my roses, leaving on some of the leaves is where some of those bad pests might linger. So I'm just looking to clean it up, streamline it where possible. And there were a couple of roses around here that I thought, you know what, I think they've been dormant long enough now because of the weather that it's not necessarily about pruning, but it's about removing some of those dead leaves while the roses are dormant. So that's what we're going to work on today. So come along, let's get her done. Here we go. Okay, to start with, I have some warm insulated gloves. Thinsulate in particular. I just got these on Amazon and I like them. Plus, also, I think being able to fill your hands is really important when it comes to working on roses. So, and I think these will be thick enough to protect me from some of the thorns that are pretty substantial on some of these roses. So let's see how much we can get done. I'm going to start here with Generous Gardener because I've noticed there are a couple of things, not just this long cane that I've needed to secure actually a couple months ago, but also just the leaves are still stuck to it. And I'll see if now that it's fully dormant, if there isn't a little more give. And again, I'm doing this to help with the sawfly issue that over winter, a lot of them in the ground and then they work their way up, but there's also some things that hide in the foliage of roses. So I'd like to clean them up so they can get a healthy start in the spring. Okay, let's get at it. So this is Generous Gardener, which I was surprised at how many leaves it held on to. I have to think of it as a meditative project. This isn't something you want to rush because the danger there, you pull gently in the opposite direction of where the leaves grow and you'll see those little red buds on the stem. That is going to be the spring growth where the new leaves come out. Now, if you force this or go too fast, the danger is ripping the stem. If it's not ready to go, don't take it with you. So, but this came off surprisingly easy because, like I said, this has been dormant for well over a month by now. And it had some interesting rose hips on the end. I found that curious as well. I'm also looking at some of the stems, put the leaves, compost them, put them in a separate bin. Don't just throw them on the ground there because if there are some critters hiding there, they'll just crawl up from there. So I take off the stems that are damaged or crossing or growing inside, ready to rub into the main canes, which wouldn't be a healthy situation. So if it's smaller than a pencil, I took it because I didn't think that would be a healthy stem. And when you trim it, here's a little bit of a close-up. See how small that is? That's not sustainable. And the same thing with the one there that's growing towards, that one is rubbing, so just take that one off as well. But if you have it trained away from the main stems, that's a good plan. I ended up taking a little off the top of that huge cane that was growing straight up and just attaching it back to the trellis. I tried several different versions of where to put it, but there was just no way to move it out of there without causing a lot of damage. Well, I cleaned up some of the stems and did have to trim that top part by about a foot.
because no matter how I tried to bend it or work it around, it's a stem that's growing from inside the trellis. And this time of year, although the rose is dormant, the stems are not as flexible as when they actually have water moving through them. And that's all, dormant right now. So I didn't want to damage the stems, or at least find out that I've damaged the stems when spring comes and I find some canes that are dead. I have Buddy with me here now because he was out here with me. All this fur kind of protects him. The thing is, he thinks he's a Malamute, but you're not, darling. You're not. He's a little bit cold. So we're going to go inside here. I just have a few more of these roses to do, and I'll take my time doing that. After all, the winter is long around here.
And just the next day, I got out to do 2 more roses. This might take me a while, but again, it's important to be patient with this process.
Well, Buddy and I will see you very soon. And we have lots of tasks to do inside where it's plenty warm. And I know you like that, don't you? Yes, you do. Okay. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon right here on Milkweeds and Roses. Bye.